What you're going to do is you're going to open to the back. Directly beside it, on your notebook paper right here, you're going to write today's learning target. Today is the 8th. The learning target says, I can simplify rational expressions. So when you have fractions as exponents, you have to do something special. And when they are fractions as exponents, they are called rational exponents. So if I wrote a to the 3/4 power, that is a fraction as an exponent, correct? You have to do some magic with it. You turn it into a radical, which means you're going to write the square root symbol. Except our denominator is 4, correct? Your denominator goes right here. Your A goes under the house, and the 3 goes right here. Because this is a rational exponent, and it turns it into a radical. That's the operation that it does. So you know how when we have negative exponents, it flips it? And when we multiply like bases, we add? This is the operation for when you have fractions. Kind of, but not really. You just have to break it down using your perfect squares. It's really easy. Alright, so when you have fractions as exponents, make it radical. Which means if I give you 3ab to the 2/3 power,
wait, I have a question. Was that the answer? Like on the left side? Okay. My left. Okay. I had a tickle in my throat.
Alright, so everything in these parentheses are to this exponent, which means that you turn it into the cubed root of 3ab squared.
That's all you have to do?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to teach you how to simplify in a minute, but that's it. You can't simplify this one. Yes.
What's the symbol called?
Square root. It's called a radical. Alright, so if I gave you 2xy to the 3/4, is that 3/4 on the x, the 2, or the y?
The y.
And it's only on the y, correct?
Correct.
So that means the 2 and the x will stay outside of the radical. The y will go inside. Now, what goes in this little mullet right here? 4. What goes outside of the radical? 3. Because it doesn't have the exponent of 3/4.
Okay, can we try one another?
We're going to in just a second. You don't understand?
Yeah. No, I'm like
What don't you understand?
the 3/4.
Okay, so the denominator always goes inside the mullet right here. Always.
To the bottom.
The numerator, the top, always goes out here, and then whatever number it's on, so it's this right here, that goes inside the house. Every time. Every single time.
Not once, not twice, every time.
Connor, are you better? Or are you still confused?
He's thinking about doing it right now.
I'm hungry.
Got I?
I'm hungry, dog.
Me too.
You got me,
Julio,
Stop.
Nah, you think
Are you confused? Like I said, I need to know what's going on over there.
Got what now, guy?
Are we getting an answer from this, or is that it?
That's the answer. Okay. Now, if I say simplify the radical, that's where this part comes in.
Gosh darn.
All right, write 4 and 3x. Exactly where I wrote it. 51A. Are we ready? Alright, so the 4 has a special name, and the 4 is the number that we write here in the mullet. This is called your index.
Index. Like your index finger?
Yes. Good word association. Now, do you see how it has a star right here? Do you see how it also has a star at the bottom? So that says that if the index is not written, it is automatically a 2. That's why when it looks like this, we say the square root of 16, because it is automatically a 2.
So it'd be 8.
No, what is the square root of 16? 4. Who said that? Take a point. Alright, this number under the radical has a special name. It's called a radicand.
Like your right hand. Ooh. I'm good at it.
What was that?
This bar at the top right here also has a special name. It's called a vinculum.
I don't have one for that. Actually,
And that's also what a fraction bar is called. It's called a vinculum. And the top of a division sign. Vinculum. And then this whole thing is called a radical. What could you possibly have a question on about this?
So at the bottom where we put, you said it was the index is not written, there's automatically a 2.
Yes.
Oh
Did
my.
you figure out the 4 in the thing? Because you put that 16 there, or was that just an example?
That was just an example. Are we ready? Alright, so when you break down square roots of things, you have to use your perfect squares. Who remembers what the first perfect square is? 1 is a perfect square. Do you? Awesome. I hope we also have our index card. What is the second perfect square?
2.
Nope.
3.
4 is the next perfect square. Now, perfect square means you take a square root of it and you get a whole number. If you take the square root of 2, it's 1.14198765237 something something. Alright, what comes after 4?
8.
Okay, guys, this is 1 times 1. Okay? And that gave us 1. This is 2 times 2. So that gave us 4. So then we're going to do 3 times 3, which is 9. And then we're going to do 4 times 4, which is 16.
Then 25. Then 36. Then 42. Dang it, I hate that.
And then, Jack, you can't answer.
Oh, man.
I've been answering.
What comes after 81?
100.
100. What comes after 100? And then? 144.
then 169,
And then?
96,
And then?
200 and a lot.
A number.
It's 15 squared.
325.
225. And then?
Oh shoot, I don't know.
Do we have to write this?
If I'm writing, you write.
That's a lot of words. Letters.
It's numbers.
Words, letters, numbers.
Okay, so far we have 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What's 17?
289.
I already answered that. If you weren't talking the whole time, you would know that. But you're going to have to figure it out on your own. Alright, 18.
Dang.
Oh my goodness.
He says, how do you feel now?
19. And 20. Look at you go. Take a point.
It's hard with them.
You don't have to say that so angrily. Angrily is a word. You should take your earbuds out. You might learn more. In English and math.
And take
Oh man,
Take point off.
got you.
She said take your earbuds out. There we go.
Even every day you're like JJ with his.
Same. Take them out. Alright, are we ready? So when you are breaking down square root, you need 2 of the same number to be able to simplify it. And that's why we have perfect squares. Because this is 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. Now, of this list up here, what is the biggest perfect square that divides into that goes into 24? Connor?
Say that one. It goes into 24?
Why did you put your hand up if you don't know the question?
I thought you were going to say the biggest square. Like, perfect square. Oh. You say 20. Someone's trying to get in the door, Dominique. Or,
What? Okay, baby. This is what I'm asking you. I'm asking you to find the biggest perfect square that divides into 24. Okay? It can't be anything above 25 because 25 doesn't go into 24. So which of these numbers do you think divides into 24? 4. Look at you go. So that gives you 4 and what? What is 24 divided by 4? 6. Yes. I can't right now. I can't. I'm sorry. Yeah.
She's pregnant and she don't go again now.
It's not that. Y'all are awful. Alright, so what does 4 get broken down into? 2 times 2. Now, for a square root, you need 2 of the same number. We have 2. They're on the board. What is wrong with you? They're 2 of the same number. Does everybody see how we have 2 of the same number? Okay? So, oh my God.
No, it's not funny.
It's really
It's almost there. It's almost there.
We're not done. So don't be confused. We're not done. We're waiting on the slowest person alive, who is a sloth. Are you ready? Okay, do you see how we broke it down into 4 and 6?
Wait, now.
Okay.
This is a running joke. Going on in our school. It is untrue and it is.
Alright, now, do we have 2 of the same number?
Yes.
Yes, we do. So you pull 1 to the outside, and the 6 stays under the house. That's it, you're done. So let's walk through it again, since we wasted 10 minutes waiting on someone to finish writing numbers.
6 divided by 4.
Oh my God, that's not what I did. Not even remotely close. But I'm about to walk through it again if you'll be quiet. I'm about to walk through it again if you'll be quiet. The first thing we did was we found the biggest perfect square that divides into 24, which was 4. We did 24 divided by 4, and we got 6. We broke 4 down into 2 and 2 because you need 2 of the same number since it's a square root. 2 of the same number because this index is 2. Does everybody understand? You have 2 2s. That means 1 comes outside, 6 stays inside to read.
Could you put 2 times 12? I mean, 2 and 12?
No, because neither of those are perfect squares. That's why we're using...
And there's no perfect square for 6.
Okay. These blue numbers are all... Stop doing that. Act like you know me. These blue numbers are all perfect squares. That means that when you break them down, you get 2 of the same number. Like this is 1 times 1. This is 2 times 2. This is 3 times 3. This is 4 times 4. This is 5 times 5. This is 6 times 6. This is 7 times 7. Do you understand? What part don't you understand about that, baby?
How you got 6 and 4?
Okay. So, honey, I looked at my blue numbers, okay? And I said, man, oh man, which of my blue numbers is going to divide evenly into 24? So I'm looking at my blue numbers and I'm like, 16 is not going to divide into 24 because it's too big. And then I'm going to say, I know that 9 doesn't divide into 24, so I'm going to look right here. And I said, man, oh man, I got it. And I did 24 divided by 4, and I got 6.
Oh, that's
Does everyone now understand? Can we please move on to the bottom where it says the square root of 512 right here?
Yes.
We're not doing any of the others yet because those are a little bigger at the moment. So we're going to do the square root of 512. Now, look at your blue numbers at the top. And I want you to take your calculator and divide 512 by the blue numbers. And if you say a number other than a blue number, I'm going to hurt you. Does everyone understand?
I didn't wait till non-blue.
You don't know which one's a perfect square, son?
512 is on the number.
You're not funny.
So it's asking the third one would be 4.
What, baby? No, we're not doing that one yet. Because that's cubed root. So we're only we're only doing ones with a square root, okay? Because we want 2 of the same number. So that's all we're focused on, not... No. All we're focused on is this right now. That's it. That's the one we're doing. Because it's the square. Everybody put your hand down. Now, all I want you to do from here is I want you to take the blue numbers that we wrote down. The 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. All of those numbers. All right, honey. The perfect squares that we wrote down. I want you to take the biggest one that you think will divide evenly into 512. So I want you to pick a number for us to divide into 512. And no one is going to tell you. I just want you to pick a number that divides into 512. That you think will divide into it. Okay, we want the biggest number, right? So let's start from the higher end of our blue numbers. Pick a number. Okay.
What?
No, I want you to pick a blue number.
1.
Okay, so you're going to take 512 and you're going to divide it by 256. Did that give us a whole number? We did it.
Oh, pick the right one.
Thank all the gods. Alright, so we break this down into 256 and 2. Is everybody with me? Nah, just wait. Just wait. Now, looking at the top, what baby number did we write under 256?
What can I do?
Because I know that you know. Okay, looking at the top, what baby number did we write under 256? 16. So that's the square root, which means that you break this down into 16 and 16. Okay? We need two of the same number. Do we have two of the same number? So those go outside. The 2 stays in the house to read Harry Potter. Does everybody understand?
I have a question.
Yes.
Are those numbers on top, like the blue numbers, are those the only ones we're gonna get a use? Or,
For square root, yes.
okay. So we basically have to go back to the base. It's like,
Yes. Yes.
Let's say like you didn't pick 256,
Mhm.
you pick another one that goes into it, can you still get the same answer?
Eventually, but you'll have to keep breaking it down. It'll be more difficult if you do it that way. So that's why I said pick the biggest one. All right, now let's look at. We can't throw letters in it today.
Cannot.
is it too complicated?
It is not. It is actually very easy. You just need 2 of the same. How many X's do we have right here? So one of them goes outside. That's it. That's all you do.
I thought it was like 98.
That's the problem.
So this one, that was funny. I'm sorry.
We got
The 512, we know that gets broken down into 256 and 2, right? Okay? So then that's 16. 16 comes outside. Now, how many X's do we have? We have 2. And we need 2 of the same thing, so one of those comes outside and 2 is left in. That's it. That's all you do. And you just missed all of that because you're talking and you have no idea. And I'm not explaining it again because those are consequences.
So you just. Okay, no, I got it.
I'm sure you do.
I just, you got 2 X's, and then you got the 256.
Is this?
This is right now.
And then you got
like the ones above.
No, this is right
Like the
now
actual
work.
number?
It is
Like the
also
high number?
homework. We're starting it right now because we're struggling so bad. Now, if you have lost your perfect square card, I suggest making a new one so that you can just whip your perfect square card out and use it. Now, let's look at our list. What is the square root of 0? Now, the directions say that there are 41 radicals between 0 and 100 that can be written in simplest radical form. This is simplest radical form. That's what we're learning, is simplest radical form.
So all I gotta do is write this answer and then I'll
Take the challenge. This is what we're doing. What's the square root of 1?
1.
What's the square root of 4?
4. Oh my god.
Oh, my bad.
Now,
I'm looking at my card.
is 8 a perfect square?
No.
So we have to break it down. Using our perfect squares, which is the second column, what is the biggest perfect square that divides into 8? 64 does not divide into 8.
4, my bad.
So this gets broken down into 4 and 2. Now, what's the square root of 4?
2.
So you bring 2 to the outside, root 2. That's it.
nobody.
Magic.
Where's my
The bottom. You see this bottom too?
What words was that?
I'm signing another curse word.
Okay, does anybody have a question on how we got 2 root 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's the second place?
Alright, honey bunches of oats.
I like that.
This is 2 and 2.
Oh, you gotta write that up.
Who gotta write that out? You gotta write that out, baby cakes. You gotta know that 4 is 2 and 2. Oh my gosh. And also, what I did was I looked right here. When you get your perfect square, you just take the square root and bring it to the outside. The outside of the mullet.
Take it easy. I think it's time to
Alright, well, he is getting permanent crown. What's the square root of 9?
3.
Is 12 a perfect square? Okay. What's the biggest perfect square that divides into 12?
43.
I really go like this.
This is the easiest thing. It is kind of
What is the square root of 4? 2 goes to the outside, 3 stays inside to read Harry Potter.
Square root.
Because Harry Potter's the greatest thing to read.
Wait.
Yes.
Why I don't read 2/3.
What,
Why
baby?
just put the 2/3?
What is the square root of 4?
Oh.
Alright, 16. What's the square root of 16? Alright, is 18 a perfect square? So, I don't want you to yell it out. I want you to take 30 seconds and do it quietly. Do not share your answer.
The answer is
Go.
I don't know.
Wait.
You didn't. Why are you looking at his paper?
No, I was looking at the number 6.
It's why? It's on the board. It's on the board.
Because you didn't write down the 2s again.
If you don't know that 4 is 2 and 2, then I don't know what to tell you, honey.
Is this right?
Mm-mm. You need a perfect square. 6 is not a perfect square.
Wait, can there be a decimal?
No, baby, it can't be a decimal. The point of what we're doing is simplest radical form.
But 9 is a perfect square.
Wait, how did you get a decimal?
That's what I did, 9 and 2. And then it's just 2.5.
You're not cutting it in half. You're taking the square root of 9, and you're looking at your card because the square root of 9 is 3.
What's 3 times 3?
9.
Did everybody get 3 root 2?
Yes.
I know what I
Did it have to be the biggest?
9 is the only perfect square that goes into 18.
Sure.
How what? How did I get 9? How did I get 3?
Oh, it has to be the purple number.
Obviously blue.
9 is 3 and 3.
Oh.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's not the adult knowing it.
Just write them down and you'll
No, I shouldn't have to do that. You're in pre-AP.
I forget.
That's my heart rate right now.
Oh God.
All right, 20. Let's find the biggest perfect square that goes into 20.
I got.
You're doing it on your... Did you just say 6? Oh, okay. I was going to be like... 16 does not divide into 20. 4 and 5. And then 4 is what, Connor?
Wait.
2 times 2. So what goes outside to play? And what stays inside to read? And you read it as 2 root 5. Now do 24 without me. How do you put what in your calculator?
There's nothing. You don't need it.
You don't have to put it in your calculator. You don't have to put it in your calculator. I'll show you another time. Yes.
Why can't it be 10 and 2?
Because neither of those are perfect squares.
It has to be this one.
Well, he knows now.
Is that right?
Alright.
Yes, very good.
Good. Logan.
Take a
Good.
point.
Take a point.
Oh, wait, did I get it?
Hmm?
2. No, you're wrong.
Take a point.
Is it?
No. What is the square root of 4? So that's what goes outside. 6 stays inside.
I heard you needed something.
Guys, this is your... you have perfect squares on the board. You have them on the board.
Somebody dropped something.
And in your notebook. What is wrong with you people?
We just made it. Connor, you're supposed to be winning.
Did you get 2 root 6? Yep.
Wait, which ones do we do?
All of them.
Rest, like the rest of the whole.
Yes, the rest of it is for homework tonight.
Oh,
And then I'm probably going to give you this as a time test. Oh, my mama I am. Oh, my mama I am.
Somebody's gonna have to die.
My mama not dying. She just finished chemo. She's good.
Good for you, mama.
Thank you.
My mama's gonna be kind.
6 times 4.
Oh, mama.
Yeah, she finished chemo Monday.
Sarah mama did.
I'm sorry, she finished chemo. Now she just has radiation, but she finished chemo.
This is 2 months.
Yes. Thank you.
You should know here.
Bruh.
Don't ask that. What's wrong with you?
Hey, Steven, how dumb are you when you ask me?
Boy, we got out.
I thought you got rid of it. You thought it. Don't ask that. Don't ask that. You just said it's all.
Shut your mouth, your brain's falling out.
Okay, so this is completed and due tomorrow. Does everybody understand? Now, no one is leaving early today. You're going to sit there and work on this till the bell rings. Like, we just not doing it because y'all killing me.
I know how to do it.
Okay, we're a team. We're a team.
If I don't move closer than I miss my ride.
Guess you better hustle.
Alright, see if the alien is here and you wonder why.
What is the square root of 25? Okay, what is the biggest, stop it, what is the biggest perfect square that goes in, I still see you?
Oh, wait. Oh, it's 9.
9 is 9 minus 25.
Not 20.
He's on 27.